YUNKJunk!
And we're back. Welcome, everybody.
The basketball.
Gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it on this podcast, which is called Important. Maybe. That was in the last text, and I like that name.
Whoa.
Okay.
Coming in hot with a name.
Important?
Important. You add an H to the beginning, and you got fucking fireworks, bro.
No.
Dylan, what did you just do?
You know, our
Little CrossFit.
You're right.
there.
You're right. Little
Important.
CrossFit.
for a transgender right podcast.
And we're canceled. Jesus, that was like 2 seconds.
You're the one who said important.
It is important.
Well, I'm a guy.
That's a shit name.
All right. Step one. Let's figure out a name.
Yeah, I think that should be. So what I wanted to talk about, and since I'm in charge, I'll go first.
All right. No. Okay. Go.
Debatable.
A lot of work, so he feels like he's in charge, but more of a personality thing. And I think that should be a segment. Hold on, this is really freaking me out. I'm seeing me on Terry's screen.
It's because we're the show. This is what the show looks like.
A different view. I think that's a weekly segment of just what the fuck's the title, and everybody brings several.
That's not bad. I can understand that.
I like that.
So each week, everyone brings a title. All right. Welcome to the title sequence part.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it today. I've got a pretty good idea for the podcast, and I think I got an idea for the title. It's who would you rather fuck? And we pick two different people, and we talk about who you'd rather fuck.
Okay.
No one's ever done it.
I could get into that.
A full hour of.
Is it just wait, it's not just the people on the call, right? It's other, we're talking about other folk.
Oh, it's not?
I don't think there's
you could add
because there's only 4 of us, and we're gonna get to the bottom of who wants to fuck who real fast. And speaking of bottoms,
Feelings will be hurt.
yeah,
Actually, I like the idea of who would you rather, and then you create a stupid scenario like who would you rather go to Great Escape with?
I like that better.
All right, wait, let's go with that. That's a segment. Let's just go right into that.
what are we basing this on? Is it just pure joy of ride? Because I know what mine answer is.
Nobody gave you who the people you'd go with are. Would you rather go with? No, it's like, would you rather go to Great Escape with Tony Hawk or Charles Barkley? You know, something like that.
Charles fucking Barkley.
Shit, that is a tough one.
Why? Tony Hawk's a lot of fun. He's got a great podcast too.
Are we riding skateboards around?
Yeah, but you're at a Great Escape.
We could be riding skateboards down fucking roller coasters if it's Tony Hawk.
If it's Tony Hawk, they'd let it.
They wouldn't let us do that if it's Charles Barkley. So Tony Hawk's got that. Okay.
But to be fair, there's that hoops thing, you know, where you try and win T-shirts and basketballs.
I don't think Charles can fucking do that anymore. I don't think Charles can do it.
This is Charles Barkley.
Tony is probably better than Charles at this point at that shit.
Barkley would have better snacks.
It's not even close. It's just hilarious. And Tony Hawk, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So Charles also, I think, I could see him being like afraid to go on certain roller coasters, and it would be fun trying to like goad him into going on one of the rides. Like, come on, Chuck, quit being a fucking puss. Like, let's get on, and then just watching his reaction, and then just be. Also, for me, who would I rather be in that picture, like going down when they get you in like the most embarrassing part? I would love to have that on my refrigerator, a picture of me and Chuck Barkley. You know, Tony Hawk he's an extreme athlete. He'd be just like sitting there like, oh, it's fun. Chuck would be like shitting his pants.
Yeah. Well,
I'd be interested to smell what Charles Barkley's poop smells like too.
This actually brings up another segment that I wanted to do, which is like 1-word impressions. So if we can all do a 1-word impression of like Charles Barkley.
Can we vote on whether this is going to be a segment or not?
No, this is a segment. This is happening. It's one of the quickest, easiest ones. Because like, you know, Charles Barkley, if you miss a shot, he'd be like, "You knucklehead."
Roller coaster.
Hot dog.
The guys.
One word.
One word.
Hey, actor.
Corn dog.
That's part hot dog.
Terrible.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Golden retriever.
Why would that be a Great Escape though? He'd be like,
Dog.
he'd be like the Comet.
Like a stuffed.
Look at those knuckleheads on the Comet.
I'd rather fuck Tony Hawk.
That's an easy one.
I'd bring it back to that. Who'd you rather be stuck in a room with, and like actually who'd you rather be stuck on one of those submarines with?
Wait, specifically what kind of submarine? The one that comes back up?
One that imploded, and like you're waiting for people to find you. Terry, you come up with the name because you're good at it. That was quick.
Okay. Who would you rather be in a submarine with? Danny DeVito or Vivica A. Fox from Kill Bill?
Vivica A. Fox.
But she's got to be from that era.
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah, you might be dying.
I'm going with.
It's a very easy answer.
She's not gonna hook up with any of you.
The fuck
Yeah, so let's cancel that out. I mean, who knows with these two? With Zach and Cole.
Don't.
Tell me I'm alone in a submarine with Vivica A. Fox.
Why? No, you're with all the other people who are going down.
Well, who are the other people?
The people who are on that fateful journey to the bottom of the sea that never came back.
A bunch of fucking idiots. I'm getting late.
Terrifying.
Danny DeVito would be easier to eat. Definitely easier. Like
So would Vivica A. Fox.
You just vaporize when you die of that shit.
Yeah, bro, it's gross.
Subscribe to our podcast.
They just blew up.
Okay, fine. So we all died in this situation.
I don't want to think.
I'd rather fuck Vivica A. Fox. Okay, so
Me too.
next one.
All right, inside baseball.
I have.
Who would you rather go parasailing with, Matt Wink or Micah Hensel?
Parasailing?
Yeah, like you and me did.
I have dual parasailed over the Caribbean.
Parasailing, like when you.
Are you like on
When you're
top of
doing
each other,
this?
like one person?
They strapped Zach and I together. Yeah.
I don't know. Wink's got a hog. I don't know if I'd want him on top of me.
Oh, you're like on top of each other, like going like this.
Yeah, it's the same as if you were like parachuting together.
Yeah. You weirdos. Also, don't refer to your cousin's dick as a hog. It's disturbing.
But if you pop up those pants, you're gonna find a sweaty hog that won't quit either.
No, you will. You will.
Your bird quit.
Parasailing, I don't know. I'd probably have to pick Matt Wink because
His big dick.
we're both gonna do the right thing.
Zach is so pissed right now.
Zach, what do you got? What do you got, man?
Now, podcast is going to be, gentlemen.
No.
What is it?
That's what we need to figure out.
I have
that.
a question. I have a question.
What?
I was watching a Christopher Nolan interview.
Uh-oh.
Okay. And well, this is something that I always think about all the time about artists aging, like the specific question that was brought up for Christopher Nolan was directors aging. And because Quentin Tarantino apparently said something about, how he's only making his 8th film and that's going to retire.
Yeah.
and his whole thing is about he
Quality.
just thinks, when directors age, him as like an auteur and like a film buff, as a fan, he just thinks it gets like corny at a certain point. You're never going to live up to your greatest shit. So I'll just say, first, I don't agree with that. I think that artists should always, like, I hope that I can make music when I'm fucking 80 years old. And I think I'm going to be a pretty sweet freestyler by the time I'm 80 years old.
Mhm.
So I would like to ask what everyone else thinks on that subject too, because I want Quentin Tarantino to keep making films as well. You know?
He publicly said he's still gonna write books, make TV shows,
Yeah.
miniseries, and films. We'll get plenty of Tarantino. To his work specifically, it's an oeuvre, right? So they're all in the same. He wants you to look at all of his films as one body of work, and
Mhm.
that's why I think he's so specific on cutting it off. 10 has a nice even number to it. I get it, and selfishly, we all want more Tarantino movies, but like, I get it, and I love Nolan's response to that. He was like, "I don't even know. I'm not that self-aware of my stuff's good or not, anyways." He's like, and I think that's what helps me make good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's really just the physical body, and if mentally you're still there, because like Martin Scorsese very famously hates production because it's just like physically taxing on the body, and you have to be so present, and it takes so much out of you. But there's no reason people can't like Zoom call direct. Literally, someone could push you around on a monitor. You could be watching the live feed of what's in the camera and direct from the fucking pool in LA if you want to. So I think we're in a time period where it's not gonna the deterioration of the body is not so much going to affect it anymore. It'll be the deterioration of the mind. Um, but when you're directing at that level, you're not you're talking about how to create the image. You're not physically creating the image. Your whole team's doing it around you. So I think we're going to enter a world where no one's going to have to retire due to the exhaustion of production. And then again, you got Clint Eastwood, who just recently made The Mule, and he was 93, right?
Yeah.
And it's a solid top to bottom, well-made movie with two 90-year-old threesomes.
Yeah, terrible. It's terrible.
No, but it's shot well. It's crafted well. You can't say it's not crafted well.
It's very believable.
Looks nice.
My point is, like, you can craft something, but it's a young man's game, and like being able to tap into the ecosphere of what's important. I would think.
You fear they get out of touch with what people want and what's happening, in pop culture.
But also, I don't give a fuck what regular people want. I want people out there making the thing they want to make, and if it generates an audience, I think that's great. So I don't want people who are actually producing work that is important because it's not in the machine to keep doing it no matter what,
I agree.
That's all I feel.
Everything should be artistically driven. Sadly, I don't know that I just we just submitted the screenplay that we wrote to the Nichols competition, which is like the Academy Awards writing contest. It's like the biggest screenwriting competition in the country. And we submitted our first draft, which we finished 20 minutes before the deadline, which
nice.
Probably not recommended. And when we ran it through Grammarly after that, there was 1,200 errors. Like, we didn't even clean it up or spell check it. Like, we had to just submit it. Point being is that was in like February, and there's like 3 drafts later now. I've cut off like 10 pages. It's much cleaner. It's nicer. But we got the results back yesterday from the competition. Out of the 5,600 screenplay submissions, we were in the top 400. And the cutoff for the next round was 350.
Yeah.
And I've never felt so good about not winning something in my life.
Why?
Because this thing was a piece of shit. It was sloppy. It was riddled with errors. I literally wrote 20 minutes before and it was still like that's top. I don't know what the math is out of 400 out of 56,000, but that's like top 90%, I think.
Yeah, that's great.
What's your favorite thing you guys have ever written? Because all of y'all are writers.
It's the screenplay, my last screenplay.
Hmm.
My favorite thing I've done is always the last thing, acting wise.
Oh, I've got some. I used to journal all the time in my. We grew up with notepads. And
Mhm.
I would write in that for years until I was like 21. And I had just, I don't remember how many books I had.
Yep.
And I stopped doing that for a while, and then I converted it over to computers. And I still journaled, and I have it all just saved over every new computer that I have. Now I have it on my phone, my iPad, but I don't do it as much anymore. But there are some poems that I would just do free write. I would just start with like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna fucking write bullshit until just to get out whatever I needed to get out of my system. Sometimes it turned into some really impressive stuff in my mind. Um, and one of them turned into the first two verses of my song 100 Years from my album 100 Years, the titular song, which I still think to this day is my favorite thing that I've written. So that's probably it. But um, I think that I could still write something else that might be good, like some type of book or something like that. Like I'm keeping that open, for myself, and I want to. I would love to fucking do that. Write a nonfiction or a fiction. Sorry, fiction.
Yeah, you could probably do it.
Book. Yeah.
I've always wanted to. I don't know how to do dialogue, but I've always wanted to write a screenplay. Always. I mean, I always have ideas. I have a very creative mind. But I mean, my favorite thing that I've ever written is I wrote the outro to our second album, and I wrote that while I was working. And it was just a poem that I wrote in my head, and it was, "If you teach that bird to fly, no, you teach that bird to run, it learned to live another day. If you teach that bird to fly, you saved its life." And then I go, "If you teach that bird to fly, don't be surprised. It doesn't stick around. Keep your head up in the sky. You never know. It could be looking down. When it travels all over the world, it'll teach all the boys and girls about that land that taught him everything." And
Yeah, that was special.
yeah,
I
that
remember that.
I don't think I've ever topped that.
That was very special.
Really good.
Yeah, that a lot of people actually quoted that on Twitter. Like I've never had that before, and I'm not even a writer, so I'm pretty fucking awesome.
I once
Yeah.
wrote Letterboxd running time 2 hours 24 minutes for the Flash,
That's it.
and that's the best thing I've ever
That's the
written.
best one.
Flash fact.
Oh yeah,
Are you guys still excited about movies
He'd
in
like-
general? I used to be
Yeah.
so excited all the time for films and media and superhero movies and sci-fi and everything, and I'm just not as excited anymore. Am I alone there, or do you all feel the same way?
Superhero movies and sci-fi, I'm definitely not as excited, but that might just be, that's kind of the playing field right now. Like, it's just not just drowned out at this point.
Terry,
You know?
sounds like you have the symptoms of what's known as superhero fatigue.
Yeah, that's not real. It's just they started making shitty movies. Because I mean structurally, stuff doesn't make the structure of movies is very weird now. It's emotion driven and not script and story beat driven. So now someone can do something just because they did it for love, even though it was never established earlier in the piece that they're a loving person. It's just there so that people react to that part instead of earning it. I feel like movies used to earn their way. And I mean, the perfect example of a movie that a series that earns its way is The Bear. That's the best thing I've seen in 10 years because it earns every bit of your attention. It's one of the few shows that you put your phone down to watch. And I think we're
Yeah.
just starving for content that is of that ilk, that demands viewing attention instead of just phoning it in.
You know, it's funny that you say that about viewing attention. Like when I watch a movie with my daughter in my room, I am not paying attention because I'm holding on to her. But there are certain things like the bear that it doesn't matter if she's in the room or not. I watch the shit out of that because, well,
I
first of all,
don't.
I don't care about my daughter. And no, have you noticed that like TV shows
If you
these days?
It's on the TV. Fuck my baby.
Have you noticed that TV shows like the main character like doesn't win at the end? And
Yeah.
that seems to be more of a trend these days. Like you think that like they're gonna figure everything out, but like especially the bear, it seemed that maybe some people figured things out, but he like kind of crumbled at the very end.
Yeah. Predictably so too, because he was so in the whole season, and he was playing it cool, and he was fucking doing his AL. Fucking, you knew that was coming. I think they do that one because it gives us another season. Clearly, our guy here isn't fixed and matured and found his purpose, like Richie, right? And two, it just what Terry was saying, like, I don't know. I think that show is great because the quality of the acting is everybody's solid as fuck on that show, and you're invested. And the editing is incredible. He uses a lot of Chicago bands. Like he's really setting a fucking tone to this thing. Those quick cuts of like when they're cooking, it has a unique style of its own. And like, yeah, they slow play, so you are invested, like you said, Terry. But I think that show's emotionally driven as anything else. Like you're just committed because there's the first half of the season. It's just slow. It's just, oh, this is where we're at, and we're gonna spend a whole episode with this person so we understand how they're feeling. And I feel like that's a commitment to the payoff at the end. So you're getting one last episode where it all goes to shit, and it's so exciting and it's so entertaining because you were just waiting for it. But I don't think they're doing anything, formula wise that any other show isn't.
See, I think they are, because the first episode is established that it's a kid who's taken over his addict brother's restaurant. He has to go to meetings and stuff to deal with it because he's like panicking all the time and having difficulties, and is a former expert chef who decided to do this. So times are tough. I think everything's in the first episode to set it up. What I'm referring to is things like, this person's going to be funny because we need a funny girl right here, instead of, okay, has this person been funny the whole time? Do they earn these moments? To me, it's about everybody in that show specifically. And, in Breaking Bad and in The Sopranos and many others, there's things where people earn your respect and earn your attention. It's not a director or a producer saying, I want everyone to laugh now. It's doing the work to make us laugh at that point or set us up. I just feel like there's a lot of like left field stuff. I do think Marvel is a big reason that a lot of this happened, is that a lot of the Marvel shows were just joke, dramatic tension, cut with a joke, dramatic tension, cut with a joke, so that you never actually felt anything. So I'm just kind of dying for these shows that actually make you feel a feeling, even if that is anxiety, as it is with the bear, or fear, or love, or sadness, or something. What was that movie that came out with Casey Affleck that was really earned its sadness? Like where his family dies in the fire.
Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, that earned tears, as opposed to,
it's like one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, but that's my point. It earns your emotion. It doesn't just say, okay, you're supposed to feel this now, and then you're supposed to feel this now. It makes you actually have the emotion. That's what I'm craving, is things that actually make you feel something, as opposed to being told feel something now. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yes. You think, well, I think you're speaking comparatively, right? Like you're just comparing to like everything else is shit. So by comparison, you're like, oh, I like it when it's not shit. And I think that's all you're saying is good stuff is good. Bad stuff is bad.
No, that's way too simplistic. It's that it follows a structure. Setup and payoff, for example, is in all of that content that I'm saying. You know, the full character arc of Walter White, for example, is earned. He comes in nice guy, he goes out Scarface, right?
That's slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Television
really.
for fucking 7 years. You have to sit at that, for longevity.
So if you want to feel something, I got a show for you. It's called Hot Ones on YouTube.
Hot Ones.
You feel sadness.
They
Fear.
feel
Anxiety. You laugh. There's fun. You laugh. You laugh sometimes. Mostly crying. When I cry a lot, guys.
I have Hot Ones fatigue. That's a thing too.
See, you watch it too much.
I only watch guests I'm interested in. I don't like watch it if Gal Gadot's on it.
No, why would you? That's
How come she doesn't have a show or a podcast called like Your Pal Gal? You know?
Honestly, I like that better than important.
I know. Yeah,
just your pal gal or your gal pals.
Pals, and we just talk Gal Gadot.
No,
she's so hot. Yeah, she's hot. Yep. Do you agree? Yep, she's hot.
Dude, that one movie she did, Wonder Woman, she was hot.
She's hot in that too. What else did she do?
She started in Fast and the Furious.
The one thing with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock.
I watched that shit.
She was hot.
The Fast and Furious. The first one is dope. It's a great idea. It's cool. It's David Ayers. And literally everyone, you want to talk about formulaic, like, oh, one-liner, and then Vin Diesel being like, family, I am. Fuck.
Yeah, there's your one-word impression. You got another one in. Family. Does he say family in Guardians 3? I think he does.
The last thing he says.
I think he says, like, we are a family.
He says,
How did I not pick up on that?
I think he did. He says a full sentence at the end of Guardians 3.
He says, I love you guys.
Because you're my family.
He gets in my car, like drives away.
Now get in this car.
The car to a spaceship, he goes all the way to Earth, and then he transforms into Vin Diesel.
No, they're literally the best movies ever made. It's fucking insane. You can't.
I've never seen one of them.
I don't think I've seen any of them. I think I saw Tokyo Drift, and I feel like that's not even a part of. Like,
Is that Fast and Furious?
Yeah, it's 3. It's got a little Bow Wow in it. Actually, he was Bow Wow at the time. Is he old Bow Wow yet? Old Bow Wow. OLE. Old Bow Wow.
We could do that. Could be our show.
Oh, wow.
Wait. How could that be our show?
I don't know.
It's just Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah, I'm spitballing. Help me out here. It's just.
We go through Bow Wow's timeline.
Yeah, we go through the history of Bow Wow when he was like baby Bow Wow to just Bow Wow to old
Bow Wow.
I mean, we'll probably have to bank like 10 episodes just about Like Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot. There's so much there.
Well, I can tell you, that first album.
Yeah, we had the album.
Yeah, we were into that shit.
It was definitely written by some like top.
It was like
rappers.
Jermaine Dupri. Yeah, he probably had like T.I. writing for him or
Lil
something.
Wayne.
Like,
No, they didn't work together. No, Lil Wayne. I'm thinking Dupree didn't work with Lil Wayne.
He was signed by Jermaine Dupri. Lil Bow Wow was signed by Jermaine Dupri, and the beats were good.
Yeah, I remember that. It was definitely.
We were into it. Well, we were kids. I was Lil Cole. We were Lil Luke.
We were all
into Bow Wow.
We had cornrows.
Yeah,
because of him.
Yeah,
that's what made it.
I had a beard cornrow.
How many of you guys, when you were young, created a player in a sports game and made yourself black? Your name and you were black.
Not once.
I did it a few times.
I did it when I was a kid, for sure, on an NBA game, NBA 2K.
not knowing. Stupid Luke Charbonneau. And it's a guy who looks exactly like Allen Iverson because I like Allen Iverson.
Oh yeah.
Did you see people
Oh yeah.
Talk about practice.
talk about prank? I feel okay. You know what?
That
I
would
got
be
a good. I got a good segment. Anytime somebody does an impression like Terry just did, therefore everybody then has to do their impression of it.
Person.
I like that.
And- yes,
That's
but
fun.
they can only be one word impressions.
One word
That's fun.
or like a sentence.
A phrase.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Quick.
So I always like you
One
can also do
second.
that with like micro impressions that are just a sound. Like
Ring
John Hamm does an awesome impression of Ray Romano golfing. And
Nice.
it's just like it's ah all left.
Yeah. Okay. Your impression.
If you can do Kermit the Frog, you can do Ray Romano.
It's pretty frog here.
Oh,
I do a Matthew
Piggy.
McConaughey as Batman.
Okay. Go ahead.
Matthew McConaughey as Batman. I'm Batman.
Oh my god.
I'm Batman.
I can do Owen Wilson as Batman.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. I'm Batman.
Wow.
Wow. I'm Batman.
I have an impression of Rodney Dangerfield.
Right.
This is my impression of Rodney Dangerfield. No one respects me.
That's not really how he does it, man.
I do like that though.
No.
All right. So I'm writing that down as a future segment. Anytime somebody does an impression without fucking conversation,
Telling everyone.
go in a row.
I got an impression of women.
Oh. Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah. Because they
talk.
because they talk. No.
Nice.
Zach, what are you reading there?
He's got
I
a
remember
red
one
pen.
time at
What are
My
you writing,
editing.
Zach?
one time at the dinner table, I did that was sometimes in our big family, when we would sit down to eat dinner. That was my time to test out my material as a kid.
Sure.
And I went most of the time it would be good. I knew my audience, I knew the crowd. But one night I'll never forget, I was so embarrassed. My face just got beat red. I'm like, wow, tough crowd. I did women are like this. But men are like, and there was nothing. There was no premise besides just women making fun of comedians that do that. And everyone sitting at our dinner table, the whole family was like, "What was that?"
Not cold.
Cole,
Stop.
and I was just like, I don't know.
What was your guys' table like? Was it a circle or was it an oval?
It was an oval, but it was
rectangle,
rectangle-ish oval, a rounded out rectangle.
Removed all square tables off the table.
You could say that. Yep. We all had our assigned seats that we knew that we sat at.
Oh, well, I guess
It was unspoken actually. We just all always sat at the same seat.
how many of you were there sitting at the table at once?
7.
7.
Yeah, but we didn't really eat together that much.
It wasn't every night.
We all had shit going on.
So when we did get together, it was like it was an event. So you worked on your material all week.
Speaking of that, speaking of Pete.
Yep.
Okay.
See how Pete's doing.
Is that the name of the segment?
How's Pete?
How's Pete?
How's Pete?
Dylan, we're gonna have to make a graphic for How's Pete.
Hey, Pop, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. All right. See you, Dad.
Bye.
Okay. Good. Pete's good. He said good.
He said "sup, kid" this time, right? What did he say last time?
Like, what
He's
the,
like, "What?"
No, he said good today. He said excellent last week.
I think he said fantastic.
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 So we gotta get to the bottom of that later. Maybe ask him, hey, are you all right?
Yeah, at some point, you know, you might get him at a bad time.
Not good. Can't talk.
forward to that.
You know, we could have him be on a separate Zoom call and just cut to him for that scene.
Yeah.
And then remove it so that it's a visual gag.
And tell him that like it's gonna be like we're gonna interview him and just like cut him off. Yeah, Dad, we're gonna have you on. We want to know everything about you.
All right, bye.
See you, Dad. Fuck.
I look forward to the day where he's like, you know what, Luke, it's not going great.
Then we keep him on.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. We talking.
never
Hold on. That'll change the whole rhythm. Good or bad, he's got to go.
Yeah, or he's go, okay, see you.
Sorry to hear that, Dad.
Bye.
Yeah. No, you're right. You got to stick to it regardless. Oh, Luke, I could really use your help. All right. Talk to you later.
Sounds good. Bye.
You just
So-
hear like a gun go off in the background.
I'd like to. That's dark. I'd
You
like
don't
to
know.
play. I'd like to play a game which is explain something in your background. So Zach, tell me about that tree.
I'm glad you asked. I brought it in here. Doesn't usually go here. That's a living room, dining area tree. It is an indoor tree. It's a fake tree. It was originally green. I had some paint left over. And so I have this idea. I still want to do it. I want to paint fake trees because I just like I have a black one. I have a black one over here in my room. I could show you. I like the idea of a tree being any other color than what it's supposed to. And you could get very artistic with it and you could design it in different ways. And then I thought I'd sell them. And this one's an orange tree, which is a play on words.
But orange leaves exist.
Yeah,
That's
this one's just it matches my aesthetic in my living room. But I want to
Zach,
do like a purple, a blue. Like I have a black one. I just like the idea of like if it's a fake fucking tree, you can make it any color you want it. And also like this one, the stem isn't painted. I would paint the stem so it's all like one color. But
how long does it take you to paint every leaf?
it's tedious.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be cool because I would just something I would buy. If I saw like an all white palm tree, I'd be like, yeah, that's dope. I want that. I don't
I
know
like
why.
that.
I have a real passion for interior design. I don't know if I've ever shared that with you.
No. I showcase it. You gotta like put everything up. You should put one thing up at a time.
And so I just threw this in because I was embarrassed about my blank white wall.
Oh,
It doesn't this room.
Where are
What's
you
the
guys? Are you
answer?
guys at the studio, Cole?
yeah, we are.
We both have gum. That's a bad idea.
Oh shit, my dad just called me. Should I answer it?
Well, I know it's my fault that we're.
Yeah, we gotta
running
wrap
late,
up,
but
too.
All right.
So I don't know. I think we might know what this podcast is about. I think by the time we start next week, we got a better idea, right? Spider-Man.
That's
Yeah,
right.
try not-
Sick, dude.
YUNKJunk!